A homicide suspect arrested this afternoon in Northwest Florida.
This is Gregory Clark. He's accused of shooting a man this afternoon.
News 5's Cody Long is live near where this happened.
Yeah, a man was shot just a few blocks behind me at Mobile Highway and Shoemaker Street. And then witnesses tell me that a woman drove right down here with that victim in the passenger seat to call 911 at this store, Trisha's One Stop. This is the man who was arrested just about an hour ago. He is 56-year-old Gregory Wayne Clark, and he was seen on surveillance just after this shooting in a Chevy pickup truck. He was taken into custody just about 2 hours after the deadly shot was fired. Deputies are still searching right now for Tony Goodwin, but he is wanted right now just for questioning in this homicide investigation. An employee at Trisha's One Stop tells us around 2 o'clock, a woman pulled up in a car with blood all over her. She got out and fell to the ground. Some people came out to help her and to call 911 for her friend. The man was in the passenger seat. Again, he was shot in the head and he died. The shot was fired a quarter of a mile away. The bullet went through the back window in the car. The sheriff's office has not yet released the victim's name, but if you have any information that could help them, you can remain anonymous by calling Crime Stoppers at 850-433-STOP. Live in Pensacola, I'm Cody Long, WKRG News 5.
All right. Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. All praises to the Most High. And since they didn't release the name and the identity of the victim of this heinous senseless crime, I am going to do so myself. This is the victim, 39-year-old Darryl Penn of Pensacola, Florida, who was killed by, once again, this man, 56-year-old Gregory Wayne Clark. After Wayne Clark got disgruntled because evidently Gregory Penn was dealing with his ex-wife, his baby's mother. And in the car with Clark was this man, Tony Goodwin, who was wanted as well. And I found very little information about him being charged in this incident. Even though this incident happened in 2019, Clark was eventually convicted. And when I say convicted, that means he was found guilty by a jury of second-degree manslaughter, and he faced 25 years to life. Now, there's very little information about this concerning like the trial. Normally when these things happen, they have trial and testimony and they cover all those things. Nothing was done because evidently Darryl Penn's life was just a casualty of racism. And what do I mean by that? Now, earlier that day, Clark came to this woman, and they're actually, they don't really say anything about the woman. You don't hear about her name. You don't see any photos. But she is, however, the catalyst to this event. Now, she told investigators that around 1 p.m., Clark came to her house wanting to talk, but she asked him to leave, telling him she needed to pick up their son from school. So basically, he came to her house, probably knowing that Darryl Penn was there and trying to get back with her, or, you know, kind of make her current relationship a little rougher than it needed to be. And this article says that the woman and Clark do have a child together, but they do not live together. And also, the woman had previously reported to law enforcement that Clark was abusive and had threatened and stalked her, according to the arrest report that they obtained when he was convicted of murder. They said that after he left, the woman and Darryl, the black man, left the house to pick up the woman's son. Now, then they're saying a short time later, the woman saw Clark, the white man, her ex-husband, her baby daddy, driving toward her in his pickup with him and another man. And that's the goblin crackhead looking dude. And he was in the passenger seat. And then she said Clark pulled alongside her car and gave her some donuts that he had bought, which she accepted before driving away. Now, right there, that's already a little bit too close for comfort. We just left the house. Now you riding around following us, and she stopping to pick up donuts. Now, that makes her a little suspect as well. Then she said that she drove away, and then she saw Clark, the white man, make a U-turn and begin following her until she reached the intersection of Shoemaker Street and Mobile Highway, where she stopped, the report stated. At the intersect, Clark got out of his truck. So basically, he done came to your house. He done follow you. You gave him some donuts. Then he turns around and follow you again, and you stop at an intersection and let him get out of his truck. So at this point, Penn, I guess, got out of the car like, yo, man, what's going on? He said that he got out of the car and placed himself between the woman and Clark, standing in front of her driver's side door. The woman told authorities that Clark said to Penn, the white dude said to Penn, you gonna make me show you a MFing thing. And then he walked back to his truck and got the shotgun. He got the shotgun. And then, according to the woman, she screamed to Darryl, the black guy, that he had a gun. And then Darryl got back in the car, but it was too late. The woman said Clark came around the back of her car with the shotgun, and she heard a loud shot and saw Penn had been shot in the face. The woman then drove away from the intersection northbound on highway for 4 blocks before pulling into the corner store that you saw in the clip. And Mr. Penn was pronounced dead at the scene, and they got Clark later on that day, and they were still looking for Godwin. I don't know if they ever caught him or whatever, but this is a telltale example of, you know, some of these relationships that black men put themselves in, not only in the Deep South, but everywhere, but especially in places like Florida, where you're dating this white man's ex-wife. You're a black man with the history of racism and the fear of genetic superiority of black people, or genetic annihilation, as Francis Cress Wilson put it. And he puts himself in this position. Rest in peace to the brother. You can't blame him. You have to blame, once again, this white man. Now, if you look at him, he definitely looked like there is some D-rug uses, as well as his homeboy, his rider. He definitely looks like he's involved in some very hard substances. But nevertheless, this is an example of when we think that, you know, these relationships are sometimes comfortable. You know, I don't know how long that relationship had been going on. It doesn't say how long they're divorced, but when you're dealing with, you know, people who feel like that they are superior than you, and you end up in a relationship with somebody that they used to be in, then their fears, that fear that has been used throughout history of a black man with a white woman that has caused so many deaths throughout history, then that becomes a reality. And then, of course, you know, the violent only know one way, is to be violent. So I thought I'd share this story, even though it happened a long time ago. This is an example of, you know, the violence, the unmitigated violence of white people towards black people when, you know, they can't get their way. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this video with the comments. Y'all see the number 919-587-7782. Thank y'all for watching, liking, sharing, subscribing to the channel. As always, peace and blessings.